Hello, my Patreon friends. How are you? I've got a stuffy nose, I've got a cold, I'm feeling bunged up. Well, apart from that, I'm fine. But if I sound a bit nasal, that's the reason. Anyway, what have we got? Firstly, well, we've got lots of hi-fi news, and this one, like last week, I'll be catching up, so I'll be skimming and cramming. First up, though, trivia. Now, last week we started a sort of American studies theme, and we'll continue that for this week. So I want you to tell me this. What American city do the following songs have in common? Firstly, By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Jimmy Webb, Promised Land by Chuck Berry, and The King of Rock and Roll by Prefab Sprouts, Paddy McClune. Once more, what American city do the following songs have in common? By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Jimmy Webb, Promised Land by Chuck Berry, and finally, The King of Rock and Roll by Prefab Sprouts, Paddy McClune. So there's a question to get you thinking. Hey, have a little think, and I will give you the answer at the end of this video. So let's get on with it, shall we? Here's some hi-fi news. First up, we have the MC Pro by Michael Fiedler. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Michael. I think it's Fiedler. Now, I think we've talked about the moving magnet version of this phono amplifier in the past hi-fi news, etc. This version is aimed at moving coil, handmade in Kent in England, utilizing through-hole technology and socketed amplifier ICs. The MC Pro is a sort of hybrid input phono amplifier, combining discrete bipolar input transistors with a servo-stabilized IC op-amp driver to lower the noise. By amplifying the input signal by over 100 times in the first stage, as opposed to just 10 times for moving magnet level in combination phono stages, the first stage's output in the MC Pro is reportedly protected against the noise of the next stage. In addition, the RIAA accuracy, this is the RIAA curve, the accuracy of that is apparently helped by the choice of capacitors. The company uses telecom-grade polystyrene film capacitors in a dedicated shunt feedback amplifier stage. In addition, there are hand-matched film capacitors, which, says the company, provides a flat bass response. One of the features is a mono stereo toggle switch, which is included on the front panel, and that bridges the two channels together when enabled. You can buy this phono amp from Classic Audio Limited for £650 in the UK, or €750 or $850 for the US. I'll put a link below if you want to learn more. Next, Piega. Just a quickie from Piega. Piega itself has offered an artist by the name of Connor McCready a pair of their Master Line Source 2 Gen 2 speakers for Connor to scribble on, basically. So he did. Hence the speakers serve as a three-dimensional canvas, and you'll see multiple layers of paint here, along with running drops. It's all very symbolic, folks. Apparently, climate change is the inspiration, and those running drops, think melting ice caps. It's all rather cheerful, as I'm sure you'll agree. The price, well, you're paying for the speakers, and you're paying for a unique piece of art. So you're looking at €100,000 per pair. Next, slightly lower in price, we're looking at FiiO and a digital audio player, the M15S, and that costs either £979 or $999. It features a dual desktop grade ES9038 Pro DAC, well, two, as I say, one for each channel. It also supports up to 32-bit 384 kHz in PCM and DSD 256. There's support for MQA files from Tidal Masters, as well as aptX HD, LDAC and LHDC codecs over Bluetooth. The FiiO can receive audio from a smartphone, PC or other device, and it can be used as a Bluetooth DAC amp if you fancy. Meanwhile, onboard 2.4 gigs or 5 gig Wi-Fi allows for Apple AirPlay and DLNA streaming, and it's also Roon ready. Physical connections, well, there's a few. There's the 3.5mm socket, you have a 2.5mm balanced and a 4.4mm Pentacom balanced. Battery life, it's okay, not amazing, but okay, 10.5 hours, and there's a 5.5-inch multi-touch HD display too. Running on Android 10, the 64 gig onboard storage can be expanded with a micro SD card up to 2 terabytes. Okay, we're going to go down in price. We're looking at Bog and HiFi next for the next couple of HiFi news entries. Let's look at the Majority Fitzwilliam 3. This is a low-cost internet radio with DAB, DAB+, and FM. You can find podcasts, Bluetooth. There are 90 presets. You get a full-color TFT display. There's a remote control, and all that is priced at 5 pennies short of £150. Based in Cambridge in the UK, the Fitzwilliam 3 also offers an auxiliary and USB ports, and you can plug in a USB stick and you can play music off that stick, or indeed a connected digital audio player, like the FiiO, for example. Internet radio connects you to over 25,000 radio stations, and you can search by continent, country, genre, and station. Other features include a dual alarm and sleep functions, Wi-Fi connectivity, and compatibility with the Undock app. Again, I'll put links below if you want to find out more. Next, we're looking at Lenco. And this is kind of similar but different. I have two products. Well, I have one product, but they've got different names. There's the PDR-046GY and there's the PDR-045BK. And it's basically the same product, different colors, that's all. So we have, it's a kind of a DAB radio Bluetooth speaker thing, spanning 182mm by 53 by 67. These speakers are available for 1 penny less than £110. And from what I can tell, because you can buy, apparently, you can buy these things from the Lenco shop, but they seem to be permanently out of stock there. I think they have a cozy exclusive deal with HMV. Now, if you're outside the country, if you're not in the UK, that is, I ain't too sure where you can buy these. I don't know if you're in the US or France or Germany, whether Lenco has a deal with a retailer in your country. I ain't too sure. It might be wise to ask Lenco, go to the website, I'll put a link below, and put in a customer query and see what they say. I do know in the UK, they are available from HMV. I did check, and the silver and the black versions you can buy from HMV for basically £110. Now, both units feature 2x3 watt speakers and Bluetooth 5 connectivity with a range of up to 10 meters, that's about 33 feet. And this includes, as I say, DAB, DAB Plus actually, and FM radio, but the box also doubles as a Bluetooth speaker. You also get a 3.5mm headphone port in there too. The box is powered by a rechargeable lithium battery, and that gives you about 7 hours of play. You'll find a 6mm, which is just under 2.5-inch LCD colored display, so you can access song details and radio station information, sports updates, the weather, that kind of thing. Oh, and if you need it, there's an alarm built in too. So if the environment is important to you, the Lenco is constructed from ABS, but also wheat fiber and natural bamboo. The packaging is made entirely from recycled FSC cardboard. Again, as per usual, I put a link below to the Lenco shop, but also to the HMV links as well if you're in the UK, and you can check that out. Next, we have Atlas IED. And when I say Atlas IED, I don't mean the cable people. I'm talking about somebody else here. So Atlas IED and Fyne Audio, the speaker people, they've cuddled up to each other and they've unveiled some speakers for your ceiling. So this is the first loudspeaker series launched under the Atlas IED collaboration with Fyne Audio, which are based on Fyne's IsoFlare point source driver technology. The series consists of 7 in-ceiling models, including blind mount models in 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch sizes. You also get a 4-inch low profile model and 8-inch subwoofer, and you get 2 pre-install models. The new loudspeakers offer an edgeless grille design in either square or round shapes in black and white options. Now, I haven't seen any prices as yet, but it's going to depend on your house and the install. So they'll probably leave it open, and it's one of those, prices on application kind of thing. And that's probably why I haven't seen those prices. So you probably need to call the company, and then they'll say, what do you need and how many do you need? And then they'll figure out a price. And finally, we have some cables, fairly high-end in the grand scheme of things, from the UK outfit the Chord Company, and they've upgraded the EPIC interconnects to EPIC X Array. Now, EPIC X Array builds on the Shoreline interconnect, and the Shorelines are basically one rung down in terms of ranges, so they're like the range below the EPICs. These new EPIC X Arrays benefit from heavier gauge silver-plated conductors with upgraded geometry, plus increased shielding volume. The EPIC X Array also enjoys Chord Company's Array mechanical tuning technology. The X bit of the name, that refers to XLPE, which is basically cross-aligned polythene insulation. These cables are all made in England and they are handmade to order. And the connectors include RCA, DIN, and XLR. The new cables connect their contact areas and pins, use Chord Company's core alloy multi-metal plating system, available in 0.5 meter and 1 meter lengths with custom lengths and terminations if you fancy. Like I say, these are pretty high-end, so for 0.5 meter, you're looking at £420. That's your hi-fi news. Let me give you some trivia. And the question is, what American city do the following songs have in common? Firstly, By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Jimmy Webb. Next, Promised Land by Chuck Berry. And finally, The King of Rock and Roll by Prefab Sprouts, Paddy McAloon. And the answer is Albuquerque. Did you get that? Albuquerque. The city that all 3 songs have in common is the largest in New Mexico. It's one of the cities the fleeting protagonist passes through in Jimmy Webb's by the time I get to Phoenix. Chuck Berry's hero wakes up high over Albuquerque in Promised Land. And the chorus of Prefab Sprout's King of Rock and Roll simply says, hot dog, jumping frog, Albuquerque. Of course it does. Anyway, now you know. That's the end of this video. Thank you for staying to the end. And I'll be back next week with some more news. For some reason, totally misjudged. All the news was sort of stacking up. And I'll probably have yet more brief news items for you next week. I've sort of hit a glut. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I've got lots to get through. So I will do that next week. And then once I get through this batch, then I'll bring in other subjects and some hints and tips and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, I'll be back next week with some more hi-fi news, and I hope to have your company. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.